Ron? Okay, I'd like to welcome everyone to the July 17th, 2017 meeting of the Delaware County Board of Commissioners. If everyone please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. I'm Jeff Benton, President of the Board. To my left is Commissioner Gary Merrill, who's Vice President. To my right is fellow Commissioner Barb Lewis. Our County Administrator Faison Ahmed. Jennifer Walraven is our clerk today. So we can start.
Resolution number 17-744, in the matter of approving the electronic record of proceedings from regular meeting held July 13th, 2017.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Vote.
Vote on motion 17-744. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Bennett?
Aye.
We do not have any public comment or elected official comment today, but that brings us to item number 4 with some representatives from our Delaware County Library. Resolution number 17-745, in the matter of Delaware County Board of Commissioners recognizing the week of April 17th through 21st, 2017, July 17th through 21st, 2017, as National Disability Voter Registration Week.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
I just come today. I'm Nicole Fowles, Communications Manager for the Delaware County District Library, and this is a national initiative that we just want to bring awareness to. As you know, one of the library's many services that we offer to the public is to help people with voter registration. We always have forms on hand, and it's always free to print them out. But one of the special things that we wanted to bring awareness to this week was the disabled vote, and we wanted to help make sure that people know that that's a loud voice as well, and we want to help that voice be able to register just as they would.
And I'm Ann Miller. I'm with the Delaware County Board of DD, their Communications and PR Coordinator, and we're very supportive of what the Delaware Library is doing, and it ties nicely in with our week of service that we're having this week.
It was a happy coincidence.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, great. So is this a national initiative?
It is a national initiative, yes. It's already kind of been recognized on a national playing field. You'll see, if you read the Gazette over the weekend, there's a little PR op-ed in there that I wrote that talks about some of the different things that are happening in many of the partner agencies, including the American Association of People with Disabilities, the National Disabilities Rights Network, and many others. And so they wanted to partner with libraries because libraries are so well known for their community service and their help with voter registration.
Okay. Great. Comments?
I support it. That's all I can say.
Yeah, it's always good to get voter registration awareness, improved and more people voting. It's certainly good.
I think the awareness is especially important.
Right.
That's great. And libraries certainly have been played a very important role in voting and registration and then voting and getting information out about elections. So thank you. Thanks for coming.
Yeah. Well, we do have a signed proclamation. Do you care to read it? Do you want to read it? Or Commissioner Merrill?
Sure, I'll read it.
Okay, Commissioner Merrill will read it. We've got two of them this morning, so we're going to share a reading.
You can pass it down.
I'm privileged to read it. Whereas in July, people with disabilities and our supporters celebrate the anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act, and whereas there are over 50 million people with disabilities of all ages living in communities throughout the United States, and whereas the disability community has a critical interest in policies enacted at local, state, and national levels that affect the integration of people with disabilities, young and old, into our communities, and whereas getting the disability community involved in influencing public policies is essential if these policies are to meet the real needs of people with disabilities to live in the community, and whereas voting in one way for the disability community to exert is one way for the disability community to exert their influence at local, state, and national elections, and whereas there are multiple efforts to develop state disability coalitions around the issue of voting, and whereas Rev Up America, register, educate, vote, use your power in national effort to encourage state and local disability community voting coalitions, And whereas members of National Disability Rights Committee are organizing a National Disability Voter Registration Week, July 17th through July 21st, 2017, therefore, be it resolved that the Delaware County Commissioners support the growing involvement of the disability community in the political process, and be it further resolved that Delaware County, Ohio designates the week of July 17th through the 21st, 2017 as National Disability Voter Registration Week, signed by Commissioner Benton, Commissioner Lewis, and Commissioner Merrill.
Great. Congratulations. Do you need anything to vote?
Vote on
we'll take a
motion
vote.
17-745. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Get a photo?
Very good. Yeah, would you like to get a picture?
Love a picture, yeah.
Okay.
I'll send you a copy. Okay, I've got 2 phones to do it with. Okay. All right, and then this one. All right, very good, thank you.
All right, this is a special week, and we do have another
We do
proclamation.
have another item here,
usual.
under business that we're going to address now. Resolution number 17-746, in the matter of the Delaware County Board of Commissioners recognizing the week of July 16th through 22nd, 2017 as pretrial probation and parole supervision week in Delaware County.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Good morning, Board. My name is Mark Taglione. I'm with Delaware County Adult Court Services, and today we have representatives from various probation and parole offices here in the local community. We have Carol Lee Conklin, Aaron Rohr, and Lori Sanderson with Adult Court Services, Kara Clark Moore with the Juvenile Court here in Delaware County, Andrew Conway and Tamar Fowler with the Delaware County Municipal Court, Wendy Turek and John Foster with the State Adult Parole Authority are here being representative. I'd like to talk a little bit about our office. We currently supervise about 950 offenders in the community for the Common Pleas Court. We generate pre-sentence investigations for the court before the judges put sentence on, and that's our responsibility in our office. And we also have pretrial supervision in lieu of placing people in jail. We supervise them in the community, thus freeing up valuable jail space. And Lori Sanderson does that for our office, which is very much appreciated. And we thank you very much for the time given this morning to recognize the very difficult job that all of us do. Thank you very much.
Good. Commissioner Lewis, comments?
Sure. Just, I've been active in the Stepping Up program, and what you do is so vital. It's just given me a new appreciation of how important it is to have people who really care and work hard and really give people another chance to straighten out their lives. Thank you.
Your court is a difficult job, but I'd also add important job. And I think the services you, plural, and all those that aren't represented here today provide to the benefit of our community and to the people that are trying to hopefully turn their lives around. It's much appreciated and needed. Thank you.
Yeah, I'd just like to echo, it is challenging work, no doubt about it, and very important work. And so I want to thank you all. And it's great that we have a week, where we can officially recognize the efforts that, our probation team does do and do a great job of. So Commissioner Lewis is going to read the proclamation we've prepared.
Whereas community corrections is an essential part of the justice system, and whereas community corrections professionals uphold the law with dignity while recognizing the right of the public to be safeguarded from criminal activity, and whereas community corrections professionals are responsible for supervising adult and juvenile offenders in the community, and whereas community corrections professionals are trained professionals who provide services and referrals for offenders, and whereas community corrections professionals work in partnership with community agencies and groups, and whereas community professionals promote prevention, intervention, and advocacy, and whereas community professionals provide services, support, and protection for victims, and whereas community professionals, corrections professionals advocate community and restorative justice, and whereas community corrections professionals are a true force for positive change in their communities, therefore be it resolved that the Board of Commissioners of Delaware County, State of Ohio, do hereby proclaim July 16th through the 22nd, 2017 as pretrial, probation, and parole supervision week, and encourage all citizens to honor these community corrections professionals and to recognize their achievements, and it's signed by all of us. Thank you.
All right, congratulations. We'll take a vote.
Vote on motion 17-746. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Very good. Another picture.
2 rows for this.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, people have 2 rows.
I didn't go up.
Oh, I had bigger groups.
I went in.
Do you want to? Yeah, okay, why don't we do it in the lobby?
We'll be back. We'll keep it under control. Hello. How are you? Hey, that's me. That's right. Yeah. John reminded me. A minute and a half ago.
That it for proclamations?
That's it for proclamations for today. That brings us to item number 5, resolution number 17-747, in the matter of approving purchase orders and announced certificates and payments of warrant in batch number CM APR 0714.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Vote.
Vote on motion 17-747. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 17-748, in the matter of approving travel expense requests.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Vote.
Vote on motion 17-748. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 17-749, in the matter of approving the sanitary sewer subdividers agreement for Liberty Trace Section 2, Phase 2.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Morning, Commissioners. Tiffany Mag with the Regional Sewer District. This is our standard sanitary subdividers agreement. It's for 19 single-family homes in the Liberty Trace subdivision, which is near the Liberty High School.
Okay, vote.
Vote on motion 17-749. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Thanks.
Thanks, Tiffany.
Resolution number 17-750, in the matter of approving the license and resale agreement between the Columbus Foundation and Delaware County, Ohio Dog Shelter.
It's
Release, sorry.
We're not selling the dog shelter.
He laughed at you. I had to-
Today.
So moved.
Second?
I'm sorry, second. I still,
All right, discussion.
This morning, Brian Gallagher, Director of Safety and Security for the county. This is allowing Delaware County's dog shelter to be placed on the Columbus Foundation's directory.
you want to elaborate maybe on what that is?
What that'll be is if donors to the Columbus Foundation wish to donate directly to the shelter rather than going through the foundation, and then coming, it'd be a big block kind of thing, where they decide, the donor can decide, and it'll go through the foundation and then come to us. So the donor won't go directly to us, it'll go through the foundation and then to us.
Right. Sounds like a good arrangement, to allow folks who are specifically interested in,
Correct.
helping our dog shelter, which is, doing good
A
stuff.
lot of animal lovers out there.
Yeah. All right, we'll take a vote.
Vote on motion 17-750. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 17-751, in the matter of approving a transfer of appropriation for the dog shelter.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion?
This is just movement within the fund. The primary purpose is to make sure we have the correct coding from a capital expense versus a material and supply expense.
Okay, vote.
Vote on motion 17-751. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brent.
Thank you.
Resolution number 17-752, in the matter of approving the project grant agreement between the Ohio Public Works Commission and the Board of Commissioners of Delaware County for the project known as Del CR 9, Township Road 127, Liberty and Jewett intersections, and authorizing Commissioner Barb Lewis to execute said agreement, along with approving disbursements made as a result of this agreement.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion?
Good morning, Commissioners. Rob Riley, Chief Deputy Engineer. This is the grant agreement for the award of OPWC funds to Delaware County for the intersection of Liberty and Jewett Road. This is a $495,000 grant toward this project. Overall cost is about $1.1 million. So this, again, would allow us to move forward with that project. Current project schedule is to start utility relocation this fall and then bid the construction contract over the winter, with construction starting in the spring on the road.
How long would the construction take, you think?
About 3 months.
3 months. Okay. Is this about what you're expecting on OPWC?
Yes. Yeah.
All right, vote.
Vote on motion 17-752. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 17-753, in the matter of approving First Amendment to the escrow agreement between JLP Orange LLC, Clean Title Agency Incorporated, and the Delaware County Board of Commissioners to increase the deposit for Orange Center Phase 2, and First Amendment to the project agreement between Delaware County and JLP Orange LLC to modify the timeline of the construction of Orange Center Phase 2.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
There is an existing agreement for the construction of Orange Center Drive that basically was in place because the road was not built. This is much like our typical bond agreements. However, this is an escrow agreement because it was foreseen that it might be some time before that section of road might get built. So in order to avoid the bond costs for that work. Time has passed since the original platting of that subdivision, and so this is to increase the total amount in the escrow fund to $229,000, which reflects the current cost to construct that road extension. And so we recommend approval.
Okay, is the road in process of being designed and approved and so on?
It is not. What really spurred this agreement was there is a lot being developed off of the very end of the existing road. The plat originally encumbered that lot, basically saying that that lot couldn't be developed until the road was extended, and so that's what really brought this up. We found a way to enable that lot to be built while still preserving the the funds necessary to build that extension.
Is this the dentist's office?
That's correct.
Okay. Hey, where is it exactly, Rob?
Off of 23, right near like the Aldi and GFS. It's to the south. There's some Epcon condos in there.
It's just south of JFS,
All right.
GFS.
This would be enough money to cover by your best
Yeah.
guess, or
Yes, we reviewed the estimate, and it is sufficient to build that section.
Okay. All right. Yep, we have our prosecutor has a comment.
I could have whispered this to Rob, but I wanted to go ahead and address it. There's also built into this agreement a review period. Every, I believe it's 5 years, we'll look at that number again and adjust upward if necessary, because they don't currently have a timeline for constructing that road.
Okay.
very good, thank you.
Yep, thank you.
That was my concern, if it gets delayed out, at some point there probably wouldn't be enough money, so I appreciate the clarification.
Yeah. All right, vote.
Vote on motion 17-753. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benson? Resolution number 17-754, in the matter of approving owner's agreement for Evans Farm, Section 1.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
This is our standard owner's agreement for street and stormwater improvements associated with Evans Farm Section 1. As you know, this is a very large development. The first section of the development is 142 lots. Estimated infrastructure cost for the street and stormwater improvements is $8.4 million. And so this covers that initial phase of the development, and we are recommending approval.
I know this is obviously a high profile, and a lot of people are watching the progress on this project. What do you think the timeline is for actually breaking ground on homes in this phase?
The pre-construction meeting for the street and storm construction was actually held last Monday. My understanding is the contractor will be mobilizing this week to start earthwork on the streets, and then I would expect streets to be substantially complete by this fall.
Okay. At that point, construction on the homes?
Yes. My understanding is the developer wishes to, basically once the streets are far enough along, they will file a bond to secure the remaining improvements, and at that time they'll proceed with recording the plat. Per my current understanding, that will be in September when they want to record that plat.
Okay. How about the roads around this area, Lewis Center and Old State? Does this particular phase include some improvements to those?
The initial phase does include road work on Lewis Center Road along the frontage of Section 1, widening that to 3 lanes, which would match the developments just to the east. Mm-hmm. There is some work remaining in order to get the plat approvable, and that would include an agreement for all of the other off-site roadway improvements, and there are a substantial number of improvements at a large amount. And so that work is still underway and being discussed with a number of different parties, economic development, the prosecutor's office, and my office. So.
Okay. Other comments? All right, we'll take a vote.
Vote on motion 17-754. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 17-755, in the matter of approving a bill of sale with Branchville Mills Homeowners Association Incorporated and the Board of Delaware County Commissioners for Dell TR 730-0.00.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
I believe we discussed this sale last week. This includes all of the improvements and landscaping on this parcel, and we recommend approval.
Okay, vote.
Vote on motion 17-755. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 17-756, in the matter of awarding a bid and approving a contract between the Delaware County Commissioners and M.T. Dory Company for the project known as Del CR 013-0.02.66, Worthington Road and Highland Lakes Avenue Lake Club Drive signal improvements.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
We received 2 bids for this contract. This will install a new traffic signal at the intersection of Worthington Road and Highland Lakes Avenue. The low bid was from MP Dory Company, just about 2% over the engineer's estimate of $204,000. And so we are recommending approval. We have worked with MP Dory a number of times. They do very good work, so no hesitation there. And construction schedule on this would be later this fall. The signal would be installed. So there's a long period of time where they have to order the traffic poles, and for whatever reason, there's very few traffic pole suppliers in the U.S. So there's typically at least a 4-month wait until you can actually get the poles for delivery.
Interesting. How's the construction coming on Worthington Road?
Worthington and Big Walnut intersection, that is coming along. We have unfortunately experienced some utility delays there, but we are working around the utilities as much as we can. I can check with the construction manager, but basically the current phase involves the north and the east legs of that intersection. I think they probably have about another month of work to get that initial phase done, and then we'll switch to the south and west corners of the intersection, do those legs, and should be wrapped up by November of this year.
How about on Worthington Road, north of Africa Road?
North of Africa Road, we have a project under design at Africa Road that would widen that intersection to have 2 through lanes in each direction on Worthington Road. We're probably 75% through design, and that is, I think we have that scheduled for 2020 construction, but we have quite a bit more work to do before we can move forward.
Yeah, because the traffic is increasing around there, and
It sure is.
roads are closed.
Yes.
And Bell Canyon, how's that coming?
Yes, Bell Canyon at Lewis Center Road. I'm glad you asked. We have Lewis Center Road scheduled to reopen August 11th.
Okay.
Below the dam, and so that would be a huge relief for the area, because I know there just aren't very many good east-west routes through that area.
I mean,
Right.
it's,
Right.
yeah.
I think we about covered all of them, have we? What about Cheshire?
No, wait, I'm not done yet.
You got another?
Yeah, I've got another one. Yeah, the Worthington Road and Big Walnut. When, I have asked you 20 times, but it's
Yeah.
signal versus a roundabout?
It is.
A signal?
Yes.
Okay, right, okay. Yeah, what's the schedule on that, Rob?
The first phase will be done, should be around September 1st, maybe the end of August. And again, we're running into some utility delays there, but I
Okay.
think we can recover once they're moved. So, and then we'll have to switch to the other 2 legs of the intersection. So, still ongoing through the end of October,
Okay,
but we'll have it wrapped up at the end of this year.
okay. Well, okay, Gary.
Well, I was asking about Cheshire, too.
Yeah, I need to actually check on, because that's really not our project, but I can
I
check
thought you
on
might
it.
have an update on it.
Yeah, I wish I did, because I drove through
We
there
have all
this
these
morning.
east-west Cheshire lists.
Yes.
It makes it difficult to get from one side to the other.
I'm laughing, but it's not funny, because we do get a lot of questions and concerns and comments about it, and it's just one of those things. We have a very busy construction season in southern Delaware County, and the fact that there's
Part of it is when we get done before the winter sets in.
absolutely, we have a relatively short construction season here in Ohio, so we have about 6 months to get it all done.
All right.
Well, I do know, just since you're here, Rob, Old State, I know there were concerns with Orange Township
Yes.
regarding Old State.
Yes, and we're, a quick update on Old State Road, there's currently a left turn restriction at Orange Road. We have basically come up with a temporary way to get that restored, hopefully within the next 2 weeks, maybe sooner, weather dependent, of course, but basically restoring that north and southbound left turn at Orange Road, which should help quite a bit for traffic in that area. So look for that very soon, and we'll update the schedule and get the word out when we know what that date will be. So.
Okay, thank you. Thanks.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
All right. So where are we in the Big Walnut interchange?
Big Walnut interchange.
We're at it.
We are actually working on a track application. That's the ODOT major new project funding program, submitting a track application by the end of this month. We have the feasibility study largely complete, but ODOT still has some reviews to do with portions of that study before we can finalize that. And so really the next step is the funding scenario, getting the funding package put together to move that project forward. There are quite a few other engineering and study processes that need to happen, but we do have what we think is a workable solution, a workable proposal, and so time will tell. We'll see if we have luck at ODOT. I think we have a compelling case to make, as I've shared with you before, and Chris and I have shared with you what we think is really an unfair situation for Delaware County. We have 2 access points to the freeway. We have 200,000 people in Delaware County trying to get through 2 access points. And so I think we have a good case to make at a very, high level. And then certainly at the detailed traffic analysis level, we can make the case for that interchange as well. So I'm optimistic, and we'll see how it goes.
I'm not an engineer, but I think it has to remove a lot of traffic from the Polaris area and make that a much easier area to get in and out of. And one other comment, I don't think we missed any, did we? We pretty much covered all of them. One I'd like to make is it just shows how much is going on in our county,
Right.
how great a job you guys are doing trying to address the issues facing our county. And but our residents do get a little frustrated from time to time, as we do when we're trying to get our time together.
Sure.
So
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yep.
I did try and turn left. I was on Old State.
Uh-oh.
Left. I couldn't turn left on Orange. So, of course, you go right, and then you turn around and go back. Yeah.
That would be critical when school starts.
Oh, my.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was one of the interim completion dates, making sure that intersection was fully restored to operation by the time school starts, so yes.
Yeah, losing that ability to
Yeah.
turn. All right. We grilled you enough this morning there, Rob?
Okay.
All right. Well, again, thank you for all your work, and thank the citizens of Delaware County for their patience, because it is long-term gain, so.
I think we still need to vote.
We will take a vote.
Okay. Resolution number 17-756. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 17-757, in the matter of approving a right-of-way work permit summary sheet.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
We had 2 permit applications. We have reviewed the proposed work and recommend approval.
All right. Vote.
Vote on motion 17-757. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 17-758, in the matter of rebidding the project known as Box Culvert Supply Contract 2017-09.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
As you recall, we bid out the supply of 2 box culverts. Unfortunately, we received no bids on that. I think there's probably 2 reasons for that. Number one, box culvert manufacturers are pretty busy right now. But secondly, the way we bid this, because our force account, our internal crews are doing the work, it's not a prime contractor doing the work. And so it's really the box culvert vendor bidding on this. Frankly, they're not used to doing that, because they're used to supplying culverts to a prime contractor that submits a bid. And so although we've had bids in the past, I think they are almost a little reluctant to do that, especially when they're busy. So I'm hopeful we'll have better luck this time and get several bids and have a contract to award for you in a few weeks.
Okay. Vote.
Vote on motion 17-758. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rob.
Thank you.
Resolution number 17-759, in the matter of approving a new Organization P, renaming Organization P, and supplemental appropriations and an advance of funds.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Good morning, Cy Kelly, Assistant County Administrator. The supplemental appropriations are for the juvenile court grants that came before you last week, and 2 camera inspections for the 2 ditches listed, and the advance of funds will cover the timing difference from the state for the grant.
Okay, vote.
Vote on motion 17-759. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Thank you. Thanks, Sam.
Brings us to administrator reports and Administrator Person.
Good morning. Just one thing. On Friday, the county engineer and I represented the county at the Smothers Road opening. It was a great event. A lot of people showed up and well attended. Very nice project, too.
It is open.
It is open, and I think
Have you ridden on it?
Good for
Oh,
you.
yes, I've ridden on it a few times since then, yes. I'm really glad to be able to go across the dam without having to detour either north or
Oh, yeah.
south.
It's a long way.
Residents are really happy. Yeah, I think one way was like 8 miles.
Oh, is that right?
Around
It was a
8,
long
yeah, and the other was a little less, so, yeah.
And I believe that's a Columbus project, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yes, that's right,
Franklin
Franklin County.
Franklin County.
Yes.
And Chris was actually, he had his fingers crossed because I think he was concerned that the new county engineer might give it back to Delaware County, but he didn't. So it's still Franklin County.
That's
I'm
right.
just kidding.
Yeah,
No, we were standing in the back saying, okay, now what?
yeah.
That it?
That's all I have. Thank you.
All right. Commissioner Lewis?
Oh, okay. Well, we have the National Association of Counties National Convention in Columbus, in Franklin County, and there was a nice article in the Sunday Dispatch about it, and I know all the commissioners are going, and our administrator, and I believe, not sure who else, not sure. Anyway.
Bob might be going.
Bob may be coming, but this really is a big deal. It's a big deal for Franklin County and for us regionally. And Franklin County has been great in including us on the convention. I'm actually going to be speaking on Friday morning at one of the commissions that I'm on, and then we have some other speakers. Sheriff Martin will actually be speaking on the Stepping Up project on a Sunday, on a seminar on Stepping Up. So we've got some other speakers too from Delaware. I think I don't believe Cassie Neff will be in town to speak. She was actually in Washington last week, asked by National Association of Counties to give her insights on stepping up and how stepping up can be really started from the ground up. And so she's been so good at that. They asked her to go to D.C., paid her way and everything. So it's been the cooperation between Franklin County and Delaware County on stepping up and on other issues has really been great. So we're looking forward to that. See you there.
Be there.
Yeah.
And I think we are changing our meeting time on Monday because we're still in session.
We canceled.
We don't cancel.
Canceled it. Right. Yes, canceled it. You're right. That's it.
Okay.
Regarding NACON, the one thing we always count on Commissioner Brady, encouraging people to shop in Easton, and I always correct it, which kind of little joke we have going back and forth, that they also need to go to Polaris.
Yes.
So I'm sure I'll be certain that that'll come up, and he will mention Easton at the detriment of Polaris. It's just a little running joke we have.
That's good.
But the other things I have is Jerry Ray spoke at Morpsey last Thursday. They thought he did a nice job, and we thought that was, I enjoyed listening to that, and there's a lot going on, and there's some things out there that benefit our county, and look forward to some of those things happening. The only other thing I had, I did my own personal survey at IKEA Saturday. I was in line with my son to eat there, and I turned the people behind me because I was curious. I said, "Where are you from?" And they said, "German Village." So we know at least, and I'm guessing a lot of people are coming in from out of our county, but it was good to hear that that said. And obviously, I think IKEA is probably going to bring a number of people to our county that wouldn't otherwise, and they had a parking lot was full at about 1 o'clock
That's
Saturday.
great. Well, now, did you walk around the store?
I told my son, I said laughingly, "Okay, you're going to walk, you're going to get lost. It's like a race." And it became a challenge to get out, because it works for them, but it's sometimes difficult to get out when you want to get out. so.
You can't leave.
But it was an enjoyable experience, and he's supposed to get my wife out there. She was a little disappointed she wasn't with us.
Oh, yes.
So Pablo, I suggested that he take her.
Yes. Oh, yes.
But it was food was great, and it's a great addition to our county, as a lot of the other things that we've seen happening in that area have been. A lot of other furniture stores have opened in that area as well. So, and that's all I have.
Okay, great. Yeah, the NACO conference is the big thing this week. Let's see, we've got no real news on the MCO sales tax. The Senate has not set a session.
They've delayed it to August, at least the end of August.
Yeah, they don't have a specific date set for their vote on the veto override, so that's kind of up in the air. So anyway, stay tuned on that. And I do have a Downtown Delaware Parking Commission study meeting tonight. That is interesting to try to figure out how to make downtown Delaware parking better. So anyway, that's it. I think we do have need for executive session. We got 3 topics, I think.
Resolution number 17-760, in the matter of adjourning into executive session for consideration of employment and compensation of a public employer, public official, and to consider the purchase of property for public purposes.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Vote?
Vote on motion 17-760. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye. All right, we're in executive session.